"Sir, there's a girl in your study. Says she lives here now," the butler whispered nervously. Mr. Whitmore, a steel-jawed billionaire, lowered his paper slowly. "What?" he growled. But when he stepped into the room and saw the dirt-covered child in his son's oversized hoodie curled up on the leather couch, his face froze, his heart, something twisted. And that was only the beginning. What had started as a reckless act of kindness by his son would unravel secrets, test pride, and lead to a decision that would change their lives forever. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, share with someone who needs hope today. Subscribe our channel Kindness Talks for more real-life inspired emotional stories. The rain pounded against the windshield like 1,000 tiny fists. Liam Whitmore, 17, heir to a billion-dollar real estate empire, gripped the steering wheel of his matte black Tesla with one hand and sipped lukewarm coffee with the other. His world was private schools, charity galas, and cold conversations with a father who only saw numbers and legacy. But that night, stuck in traffic near the city outskirts, something broke through the monotony of wealth and comfort. She was there, huddled under a flickering street lamp, arms wrapped around her knees, soaked to the bone. Her eyes were wide, not in fear, but in defeat. A cardboard sign lay on her lap. "Please don't ignore me. I'm just cold. I won't ask again." Liam stared for a second too long. Cars honked behind him, but he didn't move. Something inside him shifted. He parked illegally, grabbed his hoodie from the back seat, and jogged over. "Hey," he said, voice low. "You okay?" The girl flinched, but didn't answer. "I'm Liam," he said. "Look, I'm not here to scare you. Just, do you have anywhere to go?" Silence. Then, barely above the rain, she said, "My name's Ella." That was enough. He handed her the hoodie, and she slipped it over her tiny frame. She couldn't be older than 14. "Come on," he said, unlocking his car. "You're coming with me." She hesitated. "I'm not asking for trust," he added. "Just offering shelter." Ella climbed in. The Whitmore mansion loomed like a castle, 10 bedrooms, heated floors, walls lined with original art. The butler gasped when he saw Liam walking in, water dripping from both of them. "Sir, Mr. Liam, your father is not." "She'll stay in the East guest wing. Tell Rosa to make soup. And don't say anything yet. But please." Ella ate like she hadn't seen food in days. Liam gave her warm clothes, left over from when his cousins visited. She barely spoke, but her eyes, dark, wounded, never left his face. That night, she slept in the guest room. Clean sheets, a night lamp, a locked door, because safety wasn't something she knew yet. The next morning, it all blew up. "Liam Whitmore," thundered a voice through the hallway. "Mr. Charles Whitmore, CEO, tycoon, father, stranger." He stormed into the East Wing, his butler trembling behind him. "What is the meaning of this? Who is that child in my house?" "She's homeless, Dad," Liam said firmly. "I found her outside. She had nowhere to go. And you brought her here? Into this house? Are you insane? She's not a threat. She's a liability. A stranger. A potential lawsuit. Do you have any idea what you've risked?" "I risked giving someone a bed." There was silence. Then the coldest voice Liam had ever heard. "She leaves. Now." Ella stood behind them. She'd heard it all. Her face blank. She'd seen rejection before. It didn't surprise her. But Liam surprised her. He stepped in front of her. "She's not going anywhere." And then, Charles Whitmore did something no one expected. He didn't scream. He didn't order security. He just looked at Ella. For the first time. And his voice cracked. "What's your name?" "Ella," she whispered. The name echoed in the hallway like a ripple in a pond. Mr. Whitmore blinked, staggered slightly as if the name struck a chord he didn't know he had. He didn't speak. Just turned and walked away. Liam exhaled sharply. "I'm sorry," he said to Ella. "He's always like this." But something had changed. Later that night, Mr. Whitmore didn't show up for his business dinner. Instead, he sat alone in his study, a photo album open before him, one hand tracing a black and white image of a little girl who looked oddly like Ella. The next morning, the unthinkable happened. Rosa, the housekeeper, smiled wide. Mr. Whitmore asked what Ella eats for breakfast. What? Liam said. Also, he said she may stay for now. Under observation. Liam rushed to the dining hall. There, seated awkwardly beside an empty chair, was Ella. And Mr. Whitmore, serving her pancakes himself. You don't have allergies, do you? He asked. She shook her head, stunned. I used to make these for someone once, he said quietly. A long time ago. Liam watched in disbelief. Over the next few days, the house began to change. Mr. Whitmore would come home early. He spoke more. Sometimes he even smiled. Ella, in her shy way, began to bloom. She talked more, laughed quietly at Liam's jokes, started drawing again. She was an artist. A good one. But the piece didn't last. A tabloid broke the story. Billionaire takes in homeless girl, publicity stunt, or secret daughter? Journalists surrounded the gates. The board of directors threatened scandal. And one night, Ella overheard a shouting match between father and son. I knew this would happen, Mr. Whitmore said. Now they're digging. She's just a kid. She's a reminder. Liam froze. A reminder of what? Mr. Whitmore sat down heavily. His face pale. His eyes old. I had a sister once. Ella. She died when I was 10. Starved in a shelter while I lived with our father in a penthouse. He refused to acknowledge her. Said she was a mistake. My biggest regret is that I never said anything. I let him erase her. Liam's voice cracked. You see her in this, Ella? Mr. Whitmore nodded slowly. And I'm not letting her disappear too. A week later, the Whitmore Foundation launched Project Ella, a non-profit dedicated to providing shelter and education to street children. Ella was its first official ambassador. Reporters asked questions, of course. But Mr. Whitmore only said one thing to the press. This young lady reminded me that humanity starts at home. He adopted Ella legally 2 months later. Liam smiled as she signed her name on the papers. Ella Whitmore, she whispered. Is that okay? Mr. Whitmore nodded. It's perfect. Sometimes, one act of kindness cracks open a lifetime of silence. What Liam did in the rain that night didn't just save Ella, it healed a wound buried deep in his father's soul. Wealth can build mansions, but only compassion builds homes.